Hi, I'm Charles with AniCap. Previously, Bai was accepted as a disciple to become an immortal. In the immortal realm, Bai would discover that his chosen walk is able to double the power of anything he puts in it. However, he loses some lifespan when he does. Fast forward 5 years to when Bai has led his sector to victory in several wars and is now patriarch. After taking the Sky River Court's place in the middle stream, Bai participates in a trial for his sector. Bai was all alone against 3 teams, but he overcame all odds to capture all the seals and take first place. Bai's sector was visited by a terrifyingly powerful, late-stage celestial cultivator, and Bai was selected to be a hostage. Middle stream sectors must choose important individuals to become these hostages, who will then train in the master sector as a show of loyalty. This, however, also means that those selected may never return. The story continues as Bai prepares to leave for the master sector. He packs up all the expensive gifts he was given as farewell presents, but there is just far too much. June arrives to apologize for not being at the selection ceremony, and she wonders if it was her fault for not being there to stop Bai from being selected. She also can't go with him to the main sector because she must lead the bloodstream sector while her father and brother are gone. Bai understands that she had responsibilities to take care of in her sector, so he doesn't blame her at all. June is concerned about something else, and she makes Bai really uncomfortable by getting super close to him. She reminds him that he will be leaving soon, so if they don't get intimate right now, they might never get the chance. Bai isn't sure what she means exactly, but he decides to make his move anyway. Just then, Mai barges in and begins arguing with June. Mai calls June a coward for not going with Bai, but June mocks Mai for not being strong enough to go with him. Mai wants her to leave so she can say goodbye to Bai alone, but June isn't done yet. Bai's friends watch from outside, and they think about how lucky he is. Zhang accidentally shoves him into Bai's house, and he realizes that everyone is there to say goodbye to Bai. Bai clearly has his hands full, so Zhang says he will come back later, but Bai uses this opportunity to get away from the arguing. To change the mood, he tells everyone to celebrate and get drunk. Elsewhere, Li decides that he won't be going with Bai because he wants to leave the task to the younger cultivators. Everyone is worried about Bai, but Li hopes that Bai will be able to get even stronger from the training. The next day, Bai and his chosen 5 companions prepare to leave, and Bai gives a speech to everyone in his sector. He thanks everyone for their support over all the years and for accepting him as their patriarch. Everyone supported him through the ups and downs, so he promises to train really hard to get stronger for everyone. Bai doesn't know if he will ever be able to return, so he thanks his teacher Li more than anyone for bringing him to this sector all those years ago. Bai says his final farewell and begins to leave. The crowd says goodbye back to their fearless leader, and they promise to wait for him. Back at his house, we see that Bai left a recording for Tidon. The message explains that if Tidon is hearing it, it means that Bai has left and he didn't want to wake up his adopted Beast King's son. Bai explains that he won't be by his side for some time and he isn't even sure if he will be back, so he tells Tidon to make sure he takes care of himself. Bai apologizes for not being able to take Tidon with him, and he tells Tidon to protect the sector. Tidon senses Bai leaving, so he rushes outside just in time to see him go. Elsewhere, some green-haired guy tells his grandfather that Bai will be arriving soon, and he is concerned. Bai has a reputation for being a serious disruptor, especially after he changed up the midstream sector's resource allocation. The guy's grandpa tells him not to worry though, because while Bai is a troublemaker, he does not pose a threat to them. A supreme being will be arriving soon, so grandpa wants Greenhair to focus on how he will impress this powerful being. A while later, Bai and his companions are amazed when they get their first look at the Starry Sky Pinnacle sector. The concentration of spiritual energy in this place is hundreds of times higher than it is in the middle sectors. There are beautiful colors all over the place, and Bai wonders if the Starry Sky Pinnacle sector was built on a rainbow. These colors aren't just for looks, they also correlate with the power in the sector. The rainbow is divided into 3 layers. The higher you go, the higher the spiritual energy becomes, and the highest rainbow is the Sky Rainbow. Only the most powerful gods are allowed to live in the Sky Rainbow. Bao points out that Bai is pretty powerful himself, so he should be able to get them into the Sky Rainbow. The confident Bai of course agrees with him, and as their patriarch, he promises to get them into the highest level of the sector. Bai tries to decide where to start, but Zhang notices that Song doesn't seem to care. Song doesn't, as he explains that he's more concerned about getting stronger. The teleportation of our group begins, so Bai tells everyone to get ready to witness the greatest welcoming ceremony for their patriarch. Bai is seriously disappointed though when he arrives to find that they have just been teleported to the middle of some town. Bao wonders if there was some kind of mistake, as the building makes it clear that they're in one of the lower cities of the sector. Bai's friends can't believe that there wasn't even a welcoming ceremony, but Bai tells them not to be discouraged. Bai assures them that at the very least, his rank among the official disciples in the sector is high. Just then, one of the official disciples tells Bai and his group that they are now just disciples of the lowest rank, and they don't have any privileges. The official gives Bai's group disciple tokens and tells them to stay outside the gate until they improve themselves. The group is discouraged to not even be formal disciples in this sector, but Mani reminds them that there is a promotion system here. As long as the contribution points that they offer to the sector is sufficient, they will be promoted and they will be allowed to ascend the rainbow. Bai completely agrees with her and declares that all they have to do is gather contribution points and everything will work out for them. Our group puts on the devices that they were given and they head out to explore the city. The place is very lively and our boys get torched by some fire tiger. Our group uses some of the money they were given and they take a look at all the city has to offer. Diviner has a portrait painted of himself and he gets into an argument with Bao because his drawing isn't done yet. After some time, everyone realizes that they're getting tired much faster than usual and they are starving. It turns out that because there's so much spiritual energy in the main sector, it also causes their body's energy to be consumed much faster than usual. It now makes sense why no one uses their skills around the city, because they will get tired quickly. Bai decides to take everyone to get a meal and they all celebrate their patriarch. They're all shocked though when Yuan declines the invitation. She explains that she got used to cultivating by herself after so many years and now she wants to explore on her own. Bai wonders if he did something wrong, so he asks Song, but Song is just worried about getting something to eat. At the restaurant, the owner assumes that Bai is a famous person of very high status, and Bai is pleased to finally be acknowledged. Bai asks for his most special dish to be served, and the guy does not let him down. The food looks amazing, but the portions don't seem like enough for Zhang. The owner explains that this is intentional because they are honoring Bai. The food highlights his noble quality and luxurious temperament. Our group notices that even the decorations in this place are luxurious, and the owner explains that his restaurant has existed for hundreds of years. He says that their cooking techniques have been refined to perfection, and he tells everyone to enjoy the meal. Song does his best to keep his composure, but he eventually gives in to his hunger. After the meal, the owner gives Bai the check, but Bai is horrified to find that he's being charged 46,000 contribution points. Bai can't believe it, and Song thinks that they were tricked. The owner shows them all the prices for his food, and everything is horribly overpriced. Bai wonders if they can figure out some kind of payment plan, so the owner comes up with a different idea. He explains that Bai can pay with something else other than contribution points. Bai doesn't know what he means, and he is horrified when the owner says that he wants to take his hands. Bai realizes that this is what the owner was after all along, and that is why there's so many hand statues everywhere. The owner gets impatient when Bai is hesitant, so he calls on some royal guards. Bai can tell that the guards are really strong, so he has to have a word with the owner. Moments later, we see that Bai and his group are free. The owner hopes they will come back someday, but Bao says that they're never coming back to his garbage restaurant. Everyone wonders how Bai got them out, and he says that he was simply honest with the owner. A look back shows that Bai tried using his clever way of speaking to convince the owner to let them go. He used all his tricks to gain sympathy with the owner, but this only resulted in a 1% discount. The owner was really stubborn, and Bai was all out of ideas, so he ended up using all of his money to pay the guy. Nearby, we see that our group is being watched by some guys, and they talk about how this trap was set up by a higher being. Their boss was behind it, and there's plenty more traps to come. Mani blames herself for not being knowledgeable enough to have avoided the restaurant, but Bai tells everyone not to worry and gives another speech. Everyone watches him in admiration, and he reminds everyone that he is great at making the best out of any situation. Thanks for watching my recap. Subscribe to the channel for more videos.